Hello viewers, welcome to another inspiring episode of Mumtaz Herbal Product Presents Voice of Excellence only on CDFM 96's official Facebook channel and YouTube handle. This is Sadid Adnan Wahid, your host for today's show, and today I'm joined by a distinguished guest whose work bridges continents and industries. As the sourcing and country head of Sports Group Denmark, our guest plays a vital role in maintaining the ties between Bangladesh's thriving manufacturing industry and the global sportswear market. His leadership has not only ensured quality and innovation, but also helped to showcase Bangladesh's ability to manufacture quality sportswear on the global level. Today, we'll explore his journey, insights into the global sourcing landscape, the challenges and opportunities in the industry, and how Bangladesh is growing as a global manufacturer for active sportswear in the industry. So let's go and welcome our guest into our show. Viewers, we are going to start the interview segment of our show now, but before we do that, let's welcome our guest for today's show. And our guest is Mr. Jan Rossel, Sourcing and Country Manager, Sports Group Denmark. Hello sir, how are you today?
I'm very good.
It feels very good to come here, and I must say that you have a very beautiful office and the view is just spectacular.
Yeah, it is actually. It's a lot of sweat and tears to get it to this point. But I'm happy with the result. We're trying to sort of create a Scandinavian design, which is open and functional and clean lines, which is sort of not the natural way of designing an office in Bangladesh.
Exactly.
So it took a while, to work with the architects and things to get the right mindset to have the open office. But I'm happy with the result.
I'll be looking forward to visit that office as well. So sir, before I start bombarding you with my questions, let me tell you a bit about our show. So this program, Voice of Excellence, we do this so that we can inspire our audience, because we have a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of youths out there who are looking forward to some inspiration. So we bring those voices that can actually inspire or motivate them so they can also reach the epitome of success in their lives.
Understand? Yeah.
So let's start from the beginning. Like when you were a kid, what did you want to be?
Well, that's a long time ago, but actually I wanted to be a mechanic. I don't know what happened, but at that time, it was before email and that you actually got letters. And it happened so that I was staying with my parents and I got accepted the same day. I had 2 letters in the mailbox. I was accepted at the education to become a mechanic and also to become into the textile school. It was the same day I received it. So I had to make a decision which way I wanted to go. And then I chose the go to the textile way. And that was back in the 80s.
That's a bit of a twist. Like, why did you choose the textile sector?
I think that I felt that if I choose the mechanic way, then I don't have the opportunity to travel a lot. And I felt that the garment business at that time starting to move away from Europe and into Asia sourcing. And I really felt that at that time I was like 17, 18 years, and I thought this is the way I want to travel. I didn't look so much in after that. I just wanted to go to Asia and do the travel instead of having greasy hands and in a small dark workshop. So that's basically why I made the decision. I didn't have any long-term plans of the garment business at that time.
But it makes sense, and that was a pretty smart decision.
Yeah, I'm happy I made that decision.
So initially, when you started your journey or your career in this industry, where did you start your work?
I had an education in Denmark as a textile engineer, I guess is the equivalent in English. And after that, I started with at that time, one of the biggest importers in Denmark at the time. And they sent me to northern China, which is what I wanted, but I didn't expect northern China to be so remote at that time, because China then and China now is 2 completely different things. So I was quite shocked, I must say, that to work there. But I felt, because I was very young, so you wanna have the adventure, and I was happy with that. And I was supposed to be there for 6 months on a 6-month stint, and I ended up now I've been in Asia for more than 35 years.
Wow.
I never came back to Denmark actually after that. I changed job in between. I had jobs with Nike and Sears and Roebuck and some big American companies, and I had my own company as well for about 10 years, but all in Asia, most in Hong Kong, China, Indonesia.
Wow, 35 years is a pretty long time.
I think it's 35 plus actually.
Wow.
But,
even I didn't guess that you have so much years of experience in this particular field. So how did you end up in Bangladesh and when did you come here?
I came here to Bangladesh about 30 some years ago, first time. I didn't stay. I was coming in and on and off. You travel here, every 2 months. And that time there was only 2 hotels to stay at, the Sonagon and the Sheraton down the road. And at that time, I remember there was production in Banani. You didn't have to go further away to reach the factories. So that has changed a little bit, but that was sort of the first time. But when I started this one here, I came about 2.5 years ago, fixed, and then I stayed with a work permit and live here now with my wife.
How do you like living in here?
I like it from a work perspective because it's a challenge. And I like challenges, otherwise I wouldn't be here. And it is 90% work and maybe 5 to 10% others, because the working hours are quite long. And there's not too much to do outside. We go to the gym, we go to the club, but mostly it's work.
So apart from work, what do you like most about Bangladesh?
I think I do like in generally the culture, the people. I feel that whether it's rich or poor, they will sort of receive you with open arms, and you're always welcome. You have that feeling that you're always welcome. I've been to many homes. They love to invite you here and there. In comparison to China, which I have a lot of experience with, I've spent 20 years, I think, in Hong Kong and China.
Oh, wow.
And I think I've been to one Chinese person's home. When you meet there in China, you meet outside. You meet sort of in a restaurant or in a function or something like that. But here it seems more like you get more into you get to meet their family. They're proud to visit. This is my children, this is my wife, this is my mom, and they like to show you the whole family, and that's fine. I really find it very warm, and also here we are, as you can see, also we have hired a lot of young people, like sort of the new generation, I would say, of Bangladesh people. So they like all my jokes, which is good. I can be a bit of sarcastic once in a while, but it's good to have. We have a very good sort of working environment here. So I would say that what I would like most about Bangladesh is probably the people.
So Mr. Jan, I know for a fact that ours is not an investor-friendly country. So what were the most difficult challenges you had to face while setting up a business in Bangladesh?
How long time do we have?
A good one.
I think that you're right, that it's not a very investor-friendly. We're only liaison office, so we were a little bit easier off, I guess. But it's a lot of red tape in this country, unfortunately. It's a lot of obstacles. In comparison, I've set up companies in Hong Kong, for example. You go to an office in the morning and you basically have a registered limited company in the afternoon. And the next day you go to the bank and you have a bank account, and then you're up and running with a limited company. That's it.
It's so fast.
That's it, and it doesn't have to be any more than that. But here it took about more than 2 months. Back and forth, and spend a lot of money with lawyers, accounting, solicitors, blah blah blah. It was like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward. So that it was a long journey to do here, and also the construction of this office was set for 3 months. It took, I think, 6.5. Ended up taking 6.5 months. So it is that. You have to build in a buffer. You can't say that, we want to open an office and be running tomorrow, because we are very, our base is in Denmark. We must follow all the rules of the country.
Mr. Jan, could you tell our audience a bit about Sports Group Denmark?
I would be delighted to. It's a very young company. It's only about 12 years old. and already we have, very successful. We had a progressive growth. I believe that's like average 40% growth every year. And we currently own, I think it's 29 brands, but it could be one minus one plus. And that covers a lot of, the different groups within sportswear. They could be activewear or rainwear or hiking or trekking or running, fitness, yoga. So each brand covers different aspects, and skiing as well. We not only do RMG, we also do footwear. We make all sorts of hardware. That's when you go into a sports shop. That we have, skateboards, sunglasses, ski helmets, the backpacks. Basically covers 80 or 90% of what you find in a sports shop. We don't have our own stores. We are a wholesaler, but we were working with some of the big chain stores around, focusing on Europe and Scandinavia for our sales. We are not in North America. We're not in Australia or Asia. We really focus on building Europe up.
It seems like Sports Group Denmark is doing a pretty good job, because when I was entering this office, in your lobby, I saw some pretty big names out there.
Yes.
So it's already affiliated with so many big sportswear brands, like global sportswear brands.
Correct. Out of those 29 brands, we fully own 17, I believe it is. And that means we either started them or we have bought them, so we control them 100%. The balance is like the Lotto, Clark's, Babolat, etc. is we have distribution rights in Scandinavia, Baltics. So we don't manufacture those, we just distribute them. But that's because we have a very good logistics warehouse system that we are taking them on to increase our portfolio. But in Bangladesh and China, which are our two main production areas, we focus on the brands that we own.
So since you guys specialize in making sportswear and activewear, so I have this curiosity, like why can't we produce more like sportswear fabrics in Bangladesh?
It's coming. It is some of the big groups. I've talked to some of them. Some of them already have set up, and more is coming. If you take a cotton setup, let's say a knitting factory and a dyeing mill, it's relatively cheap to set up in comparison. It is very expensive to set up polyester or synthetic dyeing. Simply the machinery, and there's a whole different method needed. So I don't know the exact cost, but it's very expensive compared to cotton. That's why it's taken some time to set up here, but it's coming. The problem is still, even though there are some fabrics available already here, cost is higher. It's actually cheaper to get it from China here, and since many times we are pressured for price, we opt to have it from the fabrics from China, simply because we have to meet the selling price at the end.
Sir, what are your future plans with Sports Group of Denmark?
In Bangladesh?
Yeah.
As I said, we're only about 2 years old, and we're only producing in Bangladesh about 10% of our total buying volume. The rest we produce in China. So there's a huge, even though let's say we don't grow the company, there's still a lot of potential to take the current stuff over. We're taking it step by step. As you know, there's a few stumbling blocks in here, so that there was the unrest that makes it a little bit uneasy. Should we move? Should we not move here? Then there's the whole Trump thing. Is he going to have taxes on in China? So there's an influx of American product here, so we cannot get capacity. There's a lot of uncertainties to sort of just put all our eggs in one basket. So we do a measured growth here, but there's still a lot of a chance to, I would think that eventually we're going to get up from 10% to maybe 30-40% of our total buying volume in Bangladesh. There's a lot of things, as I said, we make a lot of other stuff which we cannot make here because they don't have the factories for making skateboards or ski helmets or whatever we're doing. But for the RMG and for footwear, there's definitely a lot of potential for us for growth here.
So I would wish you and your company all the best for your upcoming endeavors. And we have almost reached the end of our interview. Before I go, I have one last question for you. What advice would you give to foreign investors who want to invest in Bangladesh or start up a new business over here?
Have patience, I would say, because as I mentioned in the beginning as well, things doesn't happen from one day to the next here. So build in a buffer, getting through all that initial red tape. If you have that, then it will be okay. Once it's done, it's done, and then you can sort of start to doing. But in the beginning, you do have to make your time schedule and then multiply it by 2, and then you are sort of safe, I would say, and then you should be able to move through the obstacles in the beginning.
Those were pretty great words of advice. And Mr. Jan, thanks a lot for having us. We enjoyed our time in sitting in this beautiful and very aesthetic looking office. But before I go, I have one gift for you from
Wow.
our sponsor, which is Mumtaz Herbal products.
Wow, thank you very much. Whoa, look at that. Thank you.